dead for 5 minutes. Mia told me the story. It wasn't my intention to quarrel with Ryan. Yes, we had been having more arguments lately, but that night was different. Trivial matters. He accused me of being too emotional, and I said he was a jerk. He called me dramatic, and that was the breaking point. I snatched my keys, stormed out and hopped into the car. The night air was cold, but my skin burned with frustration. 6 months pregnant and still dealing with this crap? I threw the 4-wheel drive into gear and sped down the road, away from our house and his stupid, infuriating face. The countryside roads were dark, twisting and turning through the hills. I had no idea where I was going, just away. My hands clenched the wheel, knuckles white, and my heart pounded against my ribs. My cell buzzed on the seat beside me, probably Ryan. I ignored it. The rain had started earlier that evening, and the road was slippery. The tyres slid slightly around the bends, but I didn't care. I just needed air, space, something other than his words in my head. Then, in an instant, it all changed. A curve, too sharp, too fast. The moment stretched like slow motion. The headlights lit up the metal barrier ahead, but it was too late. The car slammed into it with a long, loud screech, lifted for a second, and then nothing but weightlessness. For a heartbeat, I was floating, the world tilting around me. Then came the impact. Cold, black water exploded through the windshield as the car plunged into the river. It swallowed me whole. Panic hit me like a fist to the chest. Ice-cold water gushed in, filling my lap and creeping up my stomach. My breath came in ragged gasps as I fumbled with the seat belt. It was stuck. My fingers, numb with shock, clawed at the latch until it finally snapped free. The car was sinking fast. I reached for the handle and pulled, but the door wouldn't give way. The pressure, I was trapped. The water rose, engulfing my legs, my waist, my chest. I scrambled around, kicking, pushing at the glass, clawing and then pounding it with my fists. Come on, come on. I pulled the solid wedge shoe off my foot and slammed it against the front windscreen. Nothing, again, nothing. Although it was shattered, I couldn't break through the glass. The water was up to my chin, and my breath came in short, desperate gulps. This isn't happening. I can't die. My baby. The thought struck like lightning. My baby. It wasn't just me. It was us. The water slipped over my lips, my nose, my eyes. Cold darkness swallowed me. My lungs burned as I fought, twisting, thrashing, trying to find a way out. But there was none. And then, silence. I floated in the abyss, my body weightless, my mind empty. The panic was gone, replaced by something strange, a stillness, a quiet I'd never known. It wasn't scary anymore, it was peaceful. And then, just as suddenly as it had ended, pain. My chest convulsed. Air, no water, was forced from my lungs. Something heavy pressed against me, hands, warmth, movement. A voice, muffled. Come on, Mia, come on, damn it. I choked, coughing, water spilling from my mouth. My eyes fluttered open, the world blinding, spinning. I gasped, sucking in air, glorious, beautiful air. Mary, my neighbour, soaking wet, her long grey hair plastered to her face. She was leaning over me, her hands shaking as she pressed my chest again, hard, before sitting back with a choked sob. Oh, thank God, she whispered. I rolled onto my side, coughing, my whole body trembling. My stomach, my baby. My hands flew to my belly. It was still there, still perfect. What happened? My voice was a rasp, barely there. Mary wiped her face with her sleeve, smearing mud across her cheek. Saw your headlights go over. I ran down and saw your car sinking. Had to do something. I blinked at her, trying to piece it together. The river, the dark, the silence. I had drowned. I had been dead. For how long? 5 minutes, Mary answered my unspoken question. You were under for 5 damn minutes. 5 minutes. That was all it took to slip away, to be gone forever. A shiver ran through me, bone deep. My body ached, my throat raw. My baby shifted slightly, a tiny flutter, and my eyes welled with tears. I was alive. We were alive. Mary sat back on her heels, watching me. You saw something, didn't you? I swallowed hard. It was nothing, just dark. Mary's expression didn't change. You sure? I hesitated, because in that strange, endless abyss, I had felt something, not just the stillness, not just the quiet, something else, something I couldn't explain. Not yet. Mary exhaled heavily and rubbed her arms. The ambulance she had called had just arrived. Siren blasting and lights blazing. Come on, let's get you up the bank. You look like death warmed up. She tried to joke, but I could hear the shake in her voice. I nodded slowly, letting her help me up. My legs were wobbly, and my breath was still in uneven bursts. As we stumbled up the riverbank, I glanced back at the water. It looked the same as always, dark and endless. But I knew better now. Somewhere in that blackness, I had left a piece of myself behind, and something else had stared back at me before I returned. Something that even now I could still feel watching, waiting. But let me tell you the most important thing. I survived, and Mary was my saviour. When I had my precious daughter 5 months later, it was a no-brainer. I named her after my saviour Mary.